What's up guys, it's Clump, and in today's video I'll be covering how to consistently drop high kill games in solos and solo squads. Remember that if you want to support me, you can use code CLUMPIT in the item shop, or drop a like on the video. With that said, let's get right into the video.
Left the tongue stain, let my what hang, falling short breath, got my lungs curved, I'm a nuisance, and these blueprints prove right like Buddhists can't do.
The most important factor to consistently dropping high kill games is to understand rotations and drops, finishing fights early, and practicing proper habits needed for non-stop fighting. First off is drops. Based off researching multiple high kill games, practicing my own drops during tournaments, and reviewing strategies of other top players, there are only 5 to 6 places where you should ever land, which I'm now going to rank in order of popularity. First is Salty, then Pleasant, then Paradise, then Dusty, then Fatal, and then the tilted/loot lake area. Where you drop is going to be completely based off the bus path, and on the overlapping path, the earliest drop usually outranks any other spot, besides the exception of Salty, which is always one of the most crowded spots on the map. Here are examples of different possible bus paths and where you should drop on all of them. For any path starting from around Haunted to the block, I would recommend going Pleasant. It's always very crowded, and you can go out with lock kills. Anywhere from around Frosty to Snobby, I would drop in between Tilted and Loot Lake and see which region has more players going to it. And with the slipstreams, it's easy to get between the two spots. Anywhere from around the left side of Happy to the right edge of Fatal going towards the middle of the map is definitely a Salty drop. You can go to Salty almost any game and find a good amount of squads. It's the most popular spot in the game and it has lots of easy rotations out of it. And you can always rotate their mid game as well to find lots of kills. Anywhere starting from around Lazy to Sunny, going towards the middle of the map is going to be a Dusty or a Salty drop, depending on exactly where the bus is. If I go Dusty, I usually go Diner just so I have high ground, and then I can just work my way in. Also, people at Diner tend to escape, so I like going there first. Anywhere that goes kind of from Paradise up the map, which I actually get this path a lot, I would either go Paradise or Salty depending on how directly over it is. The reason that Salty would somewhat be better in this situation is just the rotation after clearing. Anywhere from around Sunny to Racetrack, also going towards the middle of the map, is again going to be either a Salty or a Dusty drop depending on where exactly the bus path is going. And lastly, if the path is going directly over Fatal, it'll be an easy Fatal drop. If you are looking to drop a 30 bomb, a good checkpoint is dropping around 10 plus kills before leaving your initial location, or at around 45 to 55 players left, which is very much possible at any of these locations. Along with drops is rotations, an even more important factor, separating 15 kills from 25 and 25 from 30 plus. Where you rotate to should be based off the amount of players you can find in a region, where the storm is forcing players to move towards, and where the bus path was. And I'll explain all of these to you right now. After clearing out your initial location, the best places to go to get more additional kills is any of the other regions I already listed as a good drop spot. The only region that I would cross out as a mid-game rotation spot is Paradise, as it is on the edge of the map and also not usually in zone. Now where exactly of these locations you go is depending on where the zone is forcing players or where the bus path went. If you have a path that started at Lucky Landing and goes to Lazy Lagoon, after landing Salty or Fatal, you would want to rotate over to Dusty rather than the Tilted and Loot Lake area, as more players are likely to go Dusty that game, just due to the location and closeness to the bus path. Once you've cleared out all possible locations on where a large amount of players would go, you would then want to go to where the storm is forcing players. In this clip I landed Fatal and the bus was moving more towards the Tilted and Loot Lake region. However, after going Salty as it was a hotspot, I moved over to Dusty as I realized the entire north side of the map would have to rotate into the spot, as seen from the map that I just showed. And after going to Dusty and checking out the situation, I was in fact right. Then after this rotation, I moved over towards the house in between Loot Lake and Dusty, which was also on the edge zone, thinking I would find another squad there, which I also did. After you've cleared out all possible locations where you think players would be and have no idea where other players are, here's a list of some mid-tier places where some squads or players may be hiding. These are more popular than not and will usually have players there, and if not, you can just use mobility back to another spot. After you have all your drops and rotations down, it pretty much comes down to mechanical skill and your confidence in being able to wipe out a full squad every time, no matter the circumstances. However, there are some things you should practice when going for high kill games, and the first is finishing fights early. The quickest way to finish a fight, no matter how risky it is a 50-50 shotgun fight. However, as the name implies, this is very risky as your opponent has just as much of a chance to kill you as they do on you, especially when you're going against a full squad of players. Some things you can do to reduce this RNG and your chance at winning the fight is by first taking AR fights to give yourself a health advantage. Just getting in a few tags or sniping someone can give you a huge advantage on a fight. Also, when going against a full squad, you must isolate players. If you just try to deal out mass damage, it won't work as they'll still have 4 weapons firing at you at once. You have to isolate players and make it into a 3v1 and then a 2v1 and then a simple 1v1. As you just saw, I was being aggressively spammed, so I fell back to better position in order to isolate the fight, making the players push me individually. This led to me getting some easy knocks with the drum shotgun, finishing off with players and then making it into a 3v1. The reason you want to finish fights so early is the ability to rotate, as players die very quickly. By the time you get 10 kills, there may only be 30 players left, and you'll have a very small chance at dropping high kills. If you finish fights early, there will be more players left for you to kill, and less chance that players run into each other before you run into them. Part of nailing your rotations is having to give up things such as looting, matting up, and even healing sometimes. It may be beneficial to push a full squad with only 50 shield and 50 health, as it allows you to drop more kills if that's what you're really focused on. This is obviously not a good strategy, but when going for high kills, you have to do whatever you must, especially in tournament settings where every kill matters. That's pretty much the end of the tips. At a certain point it becomes luck in what players you go against, how long your players stay alive, and what kind of loadout you get. But by doing the tips that I said in this video, you'll have a much likelier chance to get high kill games. If you enjoyed the video and found it helpful, please leave a like, and see you guys next time.
18 days until she pulls out. I see the AC gray riding the road when the car stops. Changing lanes, fill the cup till my heart drops. Changing